Hello FlossTube Stitchers, Shelley here from Just Stitching Inc. in front of the Brunswick Community Library on a lovely Sunday afternoon. The Medina Needlework Guild is hosting their 37th annual needle art show. Judging was done in multiple categories, including canvas work, cross stitch, knitting and crochet, quilting, surface embroidery, and even beadwork. You could also display a piece rather than paying for the judged option in an effort to show the community that needlework is a vibrant hobby these days. So my job today is to take individual photos of the pieces that were entered, interview my friend Linda, who's one of the co-chairs of the show, and also possibly take photos of stitchers with their ribbons that they've won. So come along inside with me and please enjoy. FlossTube Stitchers. Here I am with my friend Linda Hennis, who's one of the co-chairs of the Medina Needle Art Show this year. And I wanted to get her input on maybe what the judges were looking for when they were judging the various categories, and some history about the Guild. So, yeah.
Well, our judges were very informative when they were judging our stuff.
Oh, good.
One of the big things that they look for, of course, is neatness. No pet hairs, no dirt on the canvas or so forth. The other thing, one judge was really obsessed with twisted threads. So they look a lot to make sure as you're doing your cross stitch that if you're using DMC floss, that they're laying nice and flat together. And if you're using the pearl cotton, I guess if you start to pull the thread, it untwists and it actually starts to look flat because it doesn't reflect the light, that was educational to me. I don't use pearl cotton, so I thought that was very interesting.
But I know you use a laying tool now.
I do. I attended Shelley's class, and now I do all my stitching with a laying tool, and my my cross stitches lay nice and right over each other. Their threads lay nice and flat.
Yeah, I know they're also looking for whether the X's are crossed in the same direction each time.
Exactly.
And that you maintain even tension throughout the pieces. So it'll be interesting to see. I didn't look at any of the comments when I was taking the photos. I felt that was a little intrusive, but maybe some of my customers will show me if the judges made an interesting comment on the back of their piece, and we can share that at a later date. I know the show's been going on for 37 years, but do you remember, did the Guild start like back in the 70s? Was that?
I believe I've been a member 10 years now, and I believe when I look back, I think it was actually
like
in the
1979 or something.
I believe.
I looked at the scrapbooks, but I forgot to. I wasn't looking at them in order, I don't think. Yeah.
I think at that point the Guild was so large there was actually a waiting list.
There was.
Because there was a limit as to what the library would hold.
Yes.
We're fortunate. We're up to about 27 members now.
That's great.
Which has been building. It seems to me that the arts are really taking off. More and more young people are getting involved in crocheting, knitting, stitching.
Yeah, I like that your show takes different forms of needlework too. I think if it were just cross stitch, it would be a smaller show and maybe not as interesting to the general public. So I love that your Guild teaches classes in all different forms of needlework. And you know what? I wanted to hear more about the color challenge project. There's some photos in the photo montage. And could you just tell us a little bit about how that works?
Twice a year in the Guild, Marcia Cornelius presents challenges for us. And our challenge earlier this year was a color challenge, where you got a color template from Sherwin-Williams that had the colors, and you had to stitch something utilizing those colors. So the members really stepped up, and we had some knitting, we had some crocheting, we had some stitching.
That was so interesting.
I myself did a purple snowflake because my colors were purple.
Oh, okay. Oh, did you not get to choose your colors?
No, it was blind.
Oh, you got them randomly. Oh, you mean so I couldn't pick blue?
No, it was in a sealed
I don't know.
which it made it even more difficult.
Yeah.
And
that's such a cool idea.
The November challenge is pieces parts, where she wanted you to take a piece from one pattern and a piece from another pattern and incorporate them into one piece. Maybe like, for instance, my name tag, which I don't have on, I'd used the cat and the letters from a different piece.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's kind of a piece's parts.
Yeah, we were just talking earlier about how nice it is to have a group that's maybe not connected to a national organization, so that you can make a lot of decisions on your own and not be stuck with what the Guild thinks you should be learning, or to have to use, not that it's a bad thing, I mean those guilds are there for a reason, but to be able to use your own members as teachers, that's wonderful. You have a lot of talented. I was a member for 10 years, and there's a lot of talented women in this group.
We have quite a range. We have some people who are beginners, who are just learning to cross stitch and learning technique and workmanship, and we have others who, oh my God, they're winning like technical
excellence. They could run circles around us, yeah.
So we do have a large variety.
Well, yeah, some of your members are going for the EGA Master Craftsman. Is that what it's called?
Two members.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So it is. Our only, and for our show, getting back to our only stipulation is it has to be made with a needle.
Right.
So this is the second year we've allowed plastic canvas even. So,
Well,
'cause
yeah,
plastic
it's used-
canvas has come a long way.
And it's used, you use a needle, so that's perfect.
So
yeah.
it does. It gives us a lot of variety.
The bead work was really intricate. I wish I could have gotten better photos of that. You could enter without payment so that you
Yes.
weren't judged. And so a lot of people, since this was their first show, they did it that way, just to show the public what's out there, what's available. I heard
Who
there were
doesn't wanna
comments
show
about
off?
fabric and different things. They had no idea this was available in cross stitch, and so they'll be really proud that they were a part of that. And then some members or some non-members entered and paid to be judged, and
We had
so
112 entries, and
Oh,
about
good.
79 of those were actually judged.
Oh, okay,
So, yeah,
great.
so it was
Great.
good. This is our second year in a row we've been over 100.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
that's it.
So what else can we say to the general public? People, cross stitch and other needlework is really popular right now. It's not your,
It
as
is.
Fran said earlier, it's not your grandma's cross stitch.
Well, what is exciting is we had 7 junior entries.
Oh, that's
under
wonderful.
18.
Oh,
So
yay.
that was really nice. And
good.
yeah, our show will be September, must be what, 17th, 18th, because it's a leap year.
Okay.
In September 2020. So we're always looking for
Yeah.
new entries. Our judges are kind. They give constructive criticism. And you can go from there. You can win a
Yeah.
ribbon.
Good. And even if you don't, you're doing the whole industry a
Exactly.
service by putting your piece on display, and being held in a library is just the perfect place.
Well, the judges do say you don't want to stitch for the judges. Stitch for your
Oh,
own pleasure.
see, there you go. Stitch for your own pleasure.
Stitch for your own
If you
pleasure.
win a ribbon, yay for you.
It's
And if you
icing.
don't, there's no problem with that either, because judges might be looking for different things. I remember we had a show one year with a different guild, and we were doing it in a clubhouse that somebody, procured for us from their development. And the lighting was so bad that a piece it was one of those Thomas Kincaid stamped where you just put the embellishments on, and it almost won Best of Show. And we actually had to move it. We had to move it into better lighting so that the judges could see that it was, because they thought the whole thing was cross-stitched.
Yeah.
So lighting makes a big deal, and
I think we have
the
really nice
library
lighting
has
in here.
great lighting and a great space, and there's public coming through all the time. So, yeah, that was
We have
a
almost
genius
100
location.
About 100 people usually come through and look
Oh,
at our
good.
show. So
Yeah.
if you want to show off your piece, this is a great place to
Yeah,
do
great.
it.
So those of you who don't live in Medina County or Cuyahoga County, Ohio, find out in your area who might be hosting a show, or maybe give the idea to your local needlework store, if you have one, to have, it could be a juried or non-juried display at the shop. And if it's not judged, maybe you could do People's Choice Awards or something like that. So give it a try. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of entering. So,
No.
well, thanks, Linda, for your
Thank you,
time. I know
Shelley.
you're doing this in between work and other activities, and actually the library's about to close, so we need to shut down.
But I do
So,
have to thank you
yeah.
for your support of our guild. It's
Oh,
very much
no
appreciated.
problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I don't know how many of my people entered, but it was fun to see their pieces on display.
Well,
so.
I've taken a lot of your classes, which has, I feel, helped me improve my technique.
Yay!
So,
That's what I like to hear. All right, thanks again,
Thanks,
Linda.
Shelley.
Okay.